So welcome back to the Getting Shit Done podcast. Today we're joined by Olly Plastow, who is the founder and director of Consensus Workspace. They're an office fit-out business based in Leeds and Manchester, operating a lean design and build model. Olly's 29, so he knows a lot about starting and running a business at a young age, and I think you'll learn a lot from him. So Olly, thanks for coming on.
I appreciate that. Thank you for having me.
So tell us then, sort of just break the ice, your journey, what got you here in a little sort of snapshot?
How far do you want me to go back?
How were you at school?
Terrible. I was a naughty child. I've got ADHD, so I don't want to listen. I can't sit in a classroom. But school bored me. I was not entertained at all. I could do the work, I just didn't want to. I wouldn't say I'm particularly academic, but I have a quick brain. I wasn't a good child. I was probably quite troublesome.
So how did you find that then, knowing that you could do it, but not having the attention or the want to actually do the work at school? How did you navigate that?
Well, it'll go on to another one of your questions that you've got. That my family's always ran businesses. So my granddad and my uncle had a fit-out company called Preferred Spaces. And they were turning over between 13 to 20 million every year from like 1996 all the way up until they folded in 2015. So I had those kind of people and I could see them on their journey. And I was kind of like, if this doesn't succeed, well, maybe I could try my arm at something else. And I always had a want to earn money. That was always my thing, was earning money. So whether it was like buying and selling clothes off eBay or selling chocolate bars, so cliche, but all those kind of things.
Standard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just wanted to earn money. And I always thought there was something else out there. I always knew from a young age that it wasn't just academics that you had to go into to make a success of yourself, if that makes sense.
Sure. And were there any sort of subjects that you were good at or did take to?
Funnily enough, history. I've got a fascination with history.
Really?
But apart from that, no. That was it. And geography, I kind of like those two. I don't know why. For someone who didn't really like school, those two subjects just really fascinated me. I don't know how I've actually made a monetary success because I got a U in maths, so that tells you everything.
You still interested in history and geography?
Yeah, I do. My favourite Netflix is World War II in colour. So
okay.
What? Obviously, it's great to hear that you got that kind of history in business, like with your family as well. But what kind of made you pick the specific industry that you've gone into?
Well, again, it was that my family had done that. I'd had other jobs beforehand, so obviously I didn't want to just jump straight into the family business because I never wanted to be like that. So I tried my arm at like Domino's, call centres, those kind of things, and I couldn't stick. Yeah, and not getting the qualifications in school did hinder what I was able to achieve when I left. Eventually, I went into the family business, and yeah, I don't want to sound like too cliche because I did take that route, but it was even when I was younger, when I was 21. Before I set up Consensus, I was doing small works on procurement and estimating. And I just thought I could actually do this for myself, but grow something better than this. It was a toxic workplace, and that's what I couldn't stand. I thought there's an opportunity for me to make money, but also hire people and have a good experience doing it. And I also looked at the other businesses in my particular industry and thought, it's boring. Like, there's so many exciting companies. This was like where Google was just like, everyone wanted a Google office and things like that. And I was like, there's so much more to this that could be better, if that makes sense.
Sure. So I sort of resonate with that because it can be perceived from an outside perspective like it is a boring industry, or a lot of people it's a job that needs to be done. It's not a luxury. It's not something that people put a lot of sort of effort into now. But I guess with the way that sort of work from home's come into play, businesses need to really invest to make an office a place people want to come and work, but also make friends and have a lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. And the journey started where it was one of my dad's friends, a very, very old friend, he kind of caught me in Wetherspoons. Actually, we were watching the England game against Croatia in 2018 when we lost, and he saw me. He was like, "How are you doing?" I was like, "Well, do you know what? I'm actually about to make a big step. I'm going to leave my job and set up on my own." He was like, "What?" And he was like, "You can't leave your family business and go set up in competition on your own." I was like, "Well, whether it's like painting, decorating, electrical, I know I could do this." I always knew that we weren't a contractor, i.e., men on the ground. We're a management company.
Okay.
We're basically PMs. And I thought, as long as I have enough money to keep myself going for a little bit, I could do it. So anyway, cut long story short, he said he'd set me and my dad up, which was great. And I actually sat down, and my dad was the one who didn't want to leave. Obviously, it was his brother and his dad. And I was like, yeah, but there has to be something else for us here. You are good at what you do. I know I can do a little bit better. And yeah, we left, and that was in 2018. Fast forward into 2025. We're growing. We've slightly dipped this year, but the industry's dipped as well. But I feel like there's always a pressure from not the outside world, but internally as well, as you go through the stage of growth, to battle that urge to run quicker than you can actually move. And that's where we've done well, where we haven't just overloaded the business with resource to try and jump to that next 20% and hit these hit realistic targets and have an organic growth. And consensus has always been about that organic growth, do a good job, and then people will grow with you. And that's where we are today.
Obviously, you've been in the business for 7 years now. What was kind of the early days of that like?
Hard. Yeah, really hard. So the barrier to entry into fit out is high. You can't go and get a credit. So obviously we have to buy materials, we have to pay people. So you need a flow of cash. But what was good was we actually, from me doing procurement and speaking to suppliers on the phone all the time, we were able to lean on existing relationships, good relationships as well, to get credit accounts set up and push through for us on day dot. And we were able to get discounted rates with people that other bigger companies were able to achieve. So we were competitive from day dot, which was great. And then a huge bonus was my dad's clients just said he would come over with him. And that just shows like the true meaning of relationships. Like you can have a company behind you, but it's the people that make the company. But yeah, the answer to your question is hard. Like a lot of long days, you're wearing so many hats. You're not just trying to get sales for the business, you're managing projects, you're doing the invoicing, you're doing the purchase orders, you're setting up, on day one, and for the first 2 years, I was printing off my own health and safety folders, and we're turning over like £4 million, but you've got to do that to save the money to keep the next year going. So yeah, it was tough. And, we were doing like maintenance jobs, like putting handles on, and we've come from this big D&B company to then just putting like handles on and changing light fittings. It was different, but it was kind of fun at the time, to be fair. It was fun, like being in a van. It was kind of fun. I kind of miss some days a little bit sometimes.
So obviously the days are like the early struggle for you then. Just want to go back to a point you made. Obviously you set up with your dad. How was that relationship? Have you always had a good, strong working relationship? What is it like mixing family and business?
Easy, and I'll explain why. Because my mum and dad were divorced. So I just saw my dad at weekends or every other weekend. My mum moved me to Shropshire. So not to go into anything personal, but we didn't have like this, not strongest relationship. Like we were always good and we were always like good friends, but it wasn't a constant. So it wasn't like I was living with him and then going to work with him and mixing it in that way. And also I started working when I was 16, and I always set the precedent that I call my dad Andy in work. And I call him Andy all the time because I never want to be that person who like calls their dad in work. I just think it's completely unprofessional. So it was easy. The exchange has been easy. Don't get me wrong, there's some days where I actually just do want to have a conversation with my dad, and that doesn't happen. And then get to see him at a weekend and stuff like that. And at Christmas, it can be, you just find yourself talking about work. So that, yeah, it's difficult, but it works. And we've never had any catastrophic arguments. And to be fair, it's credit to him. I'm young, I want to succeed. And that comes with a lot of like fire and passion. And he's like the most chill laid back man in the world. So we kind of counteract each other, which is great.
It can be A little bit of a tricky one when, if you're motivated and you're driven, you want to talk about what you're passionate about, and what you're passionate about is normally work. You know, when I speak to Harry, he's always talking about upcoming shoots or opportunities he's got. Same with me, if we're looking at hiring someone great, we've got a new client that we're really excited to sign, and for you, same thing, new client, new project. Yeah. If that's what you're passionate about, and don't get me wrong, you do other things outside of work, but that's what you want to talk about. If it's just what was the football score at the weekend, you know, you can watch that.
It's monotonous, isn't it?
Yeah. But how did you feel, you know, when you've obviously got friends, I'd imagine, that don't run their own businesses. Yeah. Do they get annoyed that you talk about work?
No. I feel like a lot. Well, I've got a good mix of people. Okay. So where I moved to in the city centre of Manchester was just full of young professionals and people who had their own business. So you surround yourself with people that are kind of similar to you. I've only got a couple of friends that don't have their own business, and they're happy to learn because it kind of inspires them. Like people who I would like to think that I make people think differently. Not from an egotistical way, but there's more out there than just sitting behind a desk and working for someone. If you've got a talent, go and do it. The only thing you can do is fail. If you fail in 6 months, go back to your old job, knock on the door. If you were good, they'll take you back.
That's reality, isn't it?
Yeah, that is reality.
If you are good at your job, the floor is just where you were before you started, and the ceiling's as high as you want to go.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't have a problem with that, to be honest. I'll be honest.
I think that's a really big part of growing up and being in business or in a sort of high pressure environment is making sure you surround yourself with people in like in your case to support you and are happy for you to succeed, rather than some people can fall into a pit of sort of jealousy.
Yeah, and like I'm surrounded, like I've got my cousin who works with us. He's like always been like one of my best friends. I've got George, who's our commercial director. We're friends on a personal level. I've just hired my best friend to do my BD for me. So people aren't hating. They actually want to come and enjoy the journey because they can see what we're trying to build.
Yeah, and it's a really nice thing to do.
Yeah.
How do you find that, like managing, because obviously me and Louis, for example, we worked together and we're friends before that, but how do you manage that kind of friendship basis on a, you know, in a workplace? I know it's difficult.
Oh mate, it's tough. Like, you'll know, it's tough. It's so tough. It's so tough. And there's like so many, but don't get me wrong, I've crossed the boundary and other people have crossed the boundary, and those difficult chats become hard. But I don't think it's too hard for me because I've always worked with family. So from the age of 16, so for me, it's not been that difficult to like process. Like there's a definite clear split between family and work. But I have crossed the boundaries, and it's really hard. And maybe coming in one day and you're in a bad mood, or you know someone's done something wrong, and you have to have that conversation. You know, some people can be like, "Oh, come on, like, you know, why are you being like this?" And it's like, it's not personal, and I know that's like really corporate, but it's not. When you're working with someone, your decision, or when you own a business, your decisions of if someone's done something wrong. It's not a personal attack. It's purely the best benefit of yourself and the business going forward, and everyone else in that particular arena. So yeah, I'm navigating it. As I get older, I ask more people for advice. And yeah, we've recently just got a mentor as well, of someone who's got a different outlook and managed a quite large corporate company. And again, you kind of realise that. You're good at getting working and delivering it, but sometimes you don't have time to maybe go on a management course.
About to ask you, did you have a mentor?
Yeah.
What are the benefits?
Yeah. Like I just emailed him before and was like, do you have your advice on something? Like I want your advice on if you have any strategies to how to deal with this certain performance, or you know, someone might not be as confident. Whilst I'm quite a confident individual, and coming from a PM background, as you'll know well, you're working on your own all the time. So for someone who doesn't work by themselves all the time and is coming into the business where you are advocating lone working, it can come across as wanting constant reassurance. So I was just saying, can you give me a little bit of advice on how I can manage them and make sure that they have the best, because I want them to develop and I want them to have the best chance to succeed. So I don't want to come across like I'm just being an arsehole, basically.
Sure, that makes sense. And your business, obviously, construction.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of fashionable industries out there at the moment, and I'd probably say that for whatever reason, construction might not be one of those. Is there a stigma around construction? Is it hard to get good talent?
Well, it's hard to find anyone at the moment, and that's the problem, because it's not cool, and it's never been cool. What is cool is the earning potential in construction, and that's what people don't talk about. You go onto TikTok, everyone goes on TikTok, and you go onto Instagram, and you just are washed with people telling you how much money you can earn, or an FX trader, or I mean, it's anything nowadays. It's like buy a property, it's the barrier to entry, just get a bridging loan. Like, there's a lot of money to be made in construction, but just no one talks about it. So, like, if you, like, you know what it's like. If you had a poster up, or you had an ad saying you can earn £300 a day, that's £72,000 a year. Okay, deduct a bit of tax. It's a good living wage.
Yeah, really good.
But the young kid leaving school to go into university wants to just, I mean, for example, why would you go onto site when you can sit comfortably in an office and earn the same amount of money, or you can earn 40 grand a year warm, and they pay for you to go to the gym and stuff? Like, you can't get that on site. So, yeah, it's not cool. So people don't want to do it, and it's, you know, it's dirty work, isn't it? So, yeah, there is a huge stigma, and I don't know how you change that.
Yeah, I guess it's, in one way, it's more work for you, in a good way.
Yeah.
But in a bad way, it's sort of like if you're trying to scale and you want to get people that are ambitious and driven,
Yeah.
and that's going to be a...
I think people want it easy nowadays as well. That's the other thing. So it's good that, you know, the industry is rewarding people for jumping in, but there's too many people that are just too lazy and just want the easiest route.
You're getting rewarded because it's hard. I mean, when I was younger, I did a bit of labouring and things like that, but going to work, like, the thing is, there's two separate sides to construction, isn't there? There's the lads who do the do, and there's people that sit in the office. We both have a hard job. One side is you doing manual labour, and the toll that takes on you is ridiculous. Like, if we were all to go on a site for a week, hanging doors for a week, I'm telling you, by midday Friday, you'd be wanting to go to sleep for the whole weekend because it's so hard. So, yeah, absolutely. And that's where you can't attract the talent. Where we've actually got the talent is within the office, where you've got the creatives who want to be designers. Design's never been so good. But where we are having a problem, I don't know whether you see it as well, Will, is we're like junior PMs. Where are they? Where are the junior PMs? Like, especially for an SME like me, they just get snapped up straight out of university, whilst we're trying to find the guys who've kind of like worked on site, because they make the best PMs. I'm not dissing anyone who's been to university, but if you've been hanging doors, or you've been a petitioner or a site manager, and you can make that transition into the office, that the level of project managing and your knowledge is going to be far vast from someone who's just come out of university.
I don't find there's many people either even coming out of university or that are like on the tools that want to come into the
No, there isn't,
market,
because actually the people on the tools don't exist. So when you walk onto site, 1 in 8 people on site may be below the age of 25.
People get mocked if they say, I want to go and be a plumber, electrician, a carpenter, and they just don't realise that they're going to go and spend potentially years at university to then go and do a corporate job with no flexibility, no sort of social life, where they're stuck at a desk.
Yeah.
When actually the people that go and they go and do an apprenticeship and they are a carpenter.
Yeah.
One of our friends just got promoted to contracts manager. He's 26 years old. He started off as a chippy. He got kicked out of school, went and did a chippy. He's a good bloke, works hard, and now he's like, we earn a lot more than any of his mates without a degree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without even having A levels. But to say that again, it's the right people. If you only attract people to a market by money, that's again, that can be one of the downfalls of design and build. Is that people want to do it because they see how much money people in D&B can earn. Yeah,
but like when you speak, so when I speak, the classic is when people ask me what I do, I go, I like fit out offices. Like, what does that mean? Or I say, we build offices, and like, well, what does that mean? Are you doing the do? I'm like, and I try and explain my side of how I actually make my money, and people don't understand it. It's like, it's almost like niche. I don't know.
It's a bubble.
It is a tiny little bubble, yeah.
Very, very small.
It is strange though, in terms of like people not wanting to go into a trade. It's still the same case. That when I was leaving school, going to university as I did, it was very much like the thing to do. You were kind of pushed into that.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's kind of a little bit you're not as expected to go to university anymore. But like, for example, my brother went into trade straight out of school, went into college, learned to be a plumber. He's now a heating engineer and is doing so well for himself. And you can, and it's that just needs to be pushed a little bit more from a younger age as well, that's okay.
And it takes the government to have a reform. It's not for the fit out companies like us or the Overbury's. I nearly said ISG then, obviously, but it's not for the tier ones to drive that and to get us back. It's about the educational system actually telling people that there's life outside of university. Like you're saying there, and we all know, if you were in school and someone did a BTEC, you were ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
Or you went to, I know the lads who were struggling in school when I moved to Shropshire, they got day release, and one day a week they'd go to a different college and they'd study like engineering or plumbing, and they're all doing really well for themselves now, but they were mocked.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is that if that's still happening, then how is it ever going to have a reform? The answer is well, you could sit here and discuss it for as long as possible, but we're not part of the government, and I'm not a career advisor, but I don't know how you make that transition now, because that stigma's been there for so long.
Yeah, it's a fundamental problem, I think, in school. You never learn about business, you never learn about taxes, you never learn about real life skills that are actually going to help you when you leave school and you want to make that decision of, is uni the right choice, is a trade, or is college the right choice?
I'll give you an example, okay, that my sister's just taken his kids at school, homeschooling them, and she was telling us they spend an hour a week and her and her husband explain what a mortgage is, what a loan is. And yeah, that sounds ridiculous, but why shouldn't they be taught that? Why shouldn't you? You know, for example, you're young and you make a lot of money. What are you going to do with it? There's no advice out there. You have to pay for advice. Are you going to get a financial advisor at the age of 21? No. So you have to learn these transferable skills through the educational system, and that's where it's failed. Like, if you look back at what you learn in school, how much of it do you actually use on a daily basis?
Yeah, it's mental. I did business and economics, and I haven't used any of it. But then the learning curve in business is very expensive for one or two reasons. You either make a mistake that you have to learn from, which is a very expensive way, or a business coach is like extortionately expensive. So it's, again, a very expensive way to learn. And, you know, it's not driven in schools, and it is difficult. And then when you go online, you've got, I make 10 grand a month doing this, I make 10 grand a month doing that. I don't know if you've watched it, but Mike Winnett got famous. He's big on LinkedIn. He got famous for doing a Entrepreneur series, and he spent like hundreds of thousands of his own money on buying all of these courses that guarantee you to make X. And he said not one of them made any money. They're all loss making. But people still will pay for it and still go for it.
Because people want quick money.
Easy money.
Easy money, and it doesn't exist. Easy money, some people may get lucky, okay? Like, take the example of people who do crypto, yeah? I've got a couple of friends who do crypto. They put a trade on, it might suddenly 10x overnight. You're set for a couple of years. You, one, have to have the money to actually do that. Two, it's complete luck. And that's where people have this stigma of, why should I go into being a trade, put 3 years, and go in university as well. People don't want to go to university anymore. One, because it's extremely expensive. But also, why should I put 3-4 years of my time into something when this guy's telling me I can buy a course on TikTok, and, you know, on TikTok Shop I can make 40 grand a month. But you can't.
If you're making that much money, you wouldn't be selling courses to do it.
Correct.
But I think the way they market it is that it's an easy way to make X amount of money a month, which is great.
Always 10 a
But
month.
it's the people that are doing it are making more money on the courses that they're selling than the actual work that they're selling. It's just crazy.
See, I've had so many of these conversations, but you have to appreciate the entrepreneurship of these people.
The marketing is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable marketing, and it's using a tool to your advantage. It's a free, at the end of the day, like TikTok and Instagram, it's a free tool. Yeah,
and they use AI to cut and clip, and they just post.
So who are the mugs? Is it me who's the mug who's doing 16-week projects, or is it them? I don't know.
It's us.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely us, isn't it?
Let's just start courses and sell TikTok stuff. Yeah.
So going the hard route then, to make a living and build a business, does that take a mental toll?
Absolutely. I literally, when I was reading your questions today on the train, just to refresh my memory, the missus sat there on the sofa last night. She's like, "What have I told you about working? It's like 6 o'clock in the morning the other day. I'm on LinkedIn or I'm sending emails out, and that's not even being toxic because people have emailed me at like 9 o'clock at night. She's told me off for replying, so I'll just reply in the morning when I get up. And yeah, it's constantly on my mind. It become a burden. It was actually 2 years ago. I don't mind saying it because I made it public a couple of times. I had a complete mental breakdown. Complete mental breakdown.
What did that consist of?
An ambulance round at the house.
That bad?
Yeah.
All work related?
Not all work related, but there was a lot of. It was brought on by work. It wasn't. There was a lot of personal stuff going on in life, but yeah, it was a lot of work related. And the reason that happened was because I tried to grab too much. So a lot of clients. I had a lot of clients ask me to do work around the Christmas period.
Yeah.
Unheard of. Christmas is usually, for anyone who doesn't know the construction industry, it's usually put your feet up time, network, go out. This year, that was not the case. It was, could you deliver 4 million before Christmas? Me being me at the age of 26 went, yeah, fine, I'll do it. We weren't set up to do that. I wasn't experienced enough to do that. I did it, but it consisted of me staying away 5 days a week on my own in a hotel room. And I use local contractors, they weren't my own guys, so I don't know anyone. So I'm staying in hotel rooms. So what are you going to do? When you're in a hotel room on your own, or in a hotel on your own, what are you going to do? You just find yourself sitting at the bar. So, and that happened for 12 weeks. And you're traveling 1,500 miles. I am not the only one who has this experience. That is happening throughout the construction industry. And it happens all the time. And it was the loneliness that nearly killed me.
Yeah, I think people forget that regardless of what it looks like from the outside, just to do well and to be doing well in today's world takes a lot out of people, and it is a lot of sacrifice. People will say, I've got the skill set, they bang on about the skill set. Skill set is vitally important. Yeah. But if you don't have the mindset to literally get your head down and work and put up with those like demons and deal with it.
I was watching a podcast, I can't remember which one it was, and it might have been a Lex one, and they were talking about people who say they do work well under pressure. It's complete bollocks. No one works well under pressure. That doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's not like a fly. People say that they do. It's complete. Well, that's what they said. It's complete fad, and I agree. Maybe I'm just not one of those people, but I don't want to work under pressure. That's never what I've set out to do. And I've always said the ethos of the company is, as soon as someone came to me and said they weren't enjoying work anymore, I don't like it, I failed. But that happened to me. So that was me breaking my own promises to myself, but I was chasing money. And it's the worst thing I've ever done. And that's one thing that I've learned, a massive thing. Never chase the turnover and never chase the profit, because it could end up killing you.
I always say that I work well under pressure, but what that actually is me working too much at the wrong times. Yeah. So that pressure isn't me just figuring that out just to work more to fit tight deadlines or whatever it might be. It's not actually being under pressure.
For you, I don't know whether for me, when I've had a good year, for me, if I have a good week and I can finish it off by having a half day on Friday or giving everyone a half day, and that means we can either go to the pub and get to the gym early and actually go at a reasonable time. That's for me. I'm like, I've enjoyed this week. That's good. But still know that I've crushed the week. Yeah. I don't know whether that's means more to you than like bringing more and more work in. That for me, that's what means a lot to me. So yeah, I don't know whether people work well under pressure or not, but I think it's a bit of bollocks.
I think I work in sprints. Like the way I see it is I can go 100 miles an hour, but then I completely switch off. Me at 70%, I might as well not be there. That's how I see it. It's like I would rather do a 4-day working week, 100 miles an hour, and Friday my phone's off every week. Because then I've got to rest.
I literally had that thought today. Before I came, I thought, right, I'm going to be travelling for most of the day. I'll go to the gym because obviously going out tonight. So I thought I'll go to the gym during the day. And then I thought to myself, I actually think I could have a 4-day week. But you get to Friday, no one answers the phone anyway. No. Because majority of people are switched off. Because, again, people are naturally working longer hours. The world is so competitive now. It doesn't stop turning. I think it's the worst it's ever been, where if you don't, I could imagine, I've got a couple of friends who work at the corporate companies, not just in fit out. If you don't put those extra hours in, someone else will take your job.
Yeah, and someone else will take the work you're going for. But on the flip side, if you can't turn up 100% and you're coming in at 60, 70%, and you're coming second every single time,
Yeah.
you're not going to win anything. Especially, you pitch for projects. If you don't win it, you don't get a penny.
No, you don't.
You need to be first. So you need to make sure that you turn up 100%. And if there's a day where it's a bit of admin and you don't really feel like doing it and you really do feel like a mess, yeah, you're going to have to get that done. But maybe it's better to do it on a day when you are feeling good and you take a bit of a break.
Yeah, the best advice that I can give someone to not get where I got and not get themselves twisted is just manage expectations. People are so terrified of actually telling people, like, well, I can't do that. Or like you said, someone's going to take my work. They're not, because there'll be enough, if someone does, there's enough opportunity out there. You don't have to make $1 million in your first year. You don't have to put yourself under so much pressure to try and be something straight away. Take your time, enjoy the experience, because the experience may take over and it's completely ruined. That's the best advice I can give someone. Just take your time, grow organically, don't try and run before you can walk, and just slowly get up the mountain.
That's good advice. That's good advice. So do you support the team at Consensus?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it a big focus? Is making
Huge.
sure that people aren't overworked?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, my dad's been an advocate with me and my dad's done this for a long time, is you have to come to work to enjoy it. I can't sell someone or pitch for someone's space, because now, especially like we were having a conversation before, people want to come to work and actually enjoy themselves and be part of something. Companies are no longer just where you come to work. They're your family. They're what you like to come to do. And I've always had that, where I've wanted to come to work, and not the first place I worked, I didn't, but in Consensus, I've always had that. I want people to enjoy coming. So how can I make people enjoy coming to work? Right, well, I can offer them free breakfast. Okay, that's great. People get fed. But it's not about that. It's about me maybe sitting with everyone, not locking myself in a room as a founder, or sit on the same bench as everyone so they feel like there's no hierarchy. People still respect you. I don't need to be sat in my own room for someone to come like knock on my door and be like, can I speak to you? And be scared of me. That doesn't work. Also, be social with people. Talk to them about their lives outside of work. Ask them, have you got time? Not just, here's a piece of paper, or can you come in this meeting? I need you to do this, and it needs to be done by this. You set the deadlines to your client through what your team can deliver in those certain amount of times. You set the parameters. The client doesn't set the parameters for you. It's about managing expectations, and it's for the welfare of your own staff. If my staff have got the right mental capacity, the workload's going to be even better.
Yeah, breeze on it.
Absolutely, because people are actually coming to work with a clear mindset and actually thinking, I actually quite like working with these people. So, and also we pay for people's gym memberships. Fitness is a big thing, and I know that for a fact. That if you're not got a hobby or something you're passionate about outside of work, then work's your only thing, and that's where again it becomes a problem. So I always talk to people. I want to get to know people. Like, I did a company update. I know every single person, like boyfriend's names or husband's names, mum's name, because I'm genuinely interested in them. So that's one of the ways that we support. It's just little things, but they mean a lot to people.
So what do you get up to outside of work? What keeps you busy?
Going to the gym, taking the dog out. Me and my girlfriend love going for walks, love going to the Lake District. That's just like a cheap thrill in life, I guess, just going away for a weekend. Yeah, and that's literally it. Like, when I was younger, I did a lot of partying. That used to make me happy. It's cheap thrills. It's dopamine hits. The Mondays are never good. Or the Tuesdays, depends on how hard you hit the weekend. But I feel like everyone's been there. When you're young, you just want to go out. But now, like, I look at life a lot simpler than I used to. I want to have a good life. I want to have a good business. I just want to make sure I go on holidays. And I want to make sure that when I eventually do have kids, they have a good life. And that's what it's about. So I like just going out with friends and going to the pub. Like, it's a simple life. There's nothing extravagant. I can't tell you that I go for like 5 a.m. dips, like in the local cold pools, because I don't. I just live a very simple life.
That's good though.
It was good seeing the the stuff that you posted on LinkedIn before when you were on your way down here as well, how's that kind of space with kind of social media and that changed your job for you? And what's sort of the future? Do you plan that kind of thing in terms of the content? Or
do you know what? The content kind of thing. I just thought, again, it goes back to my industry's archaic. It's so old school. And I just thought, I've got all these friends and seeing the outside world. And people actually make content because they want their company to seem, well, as a brand. I don't for one second think my company's a brand, because it's not. But personal brand means something. And also, what I thought was, I can't compete with the bigger boys on their marketing budgets. They've got full-scale marketing teams. And I thought, so I looked at their marketing and thought, it's crap. I could actually do a better job. I've got a phone. I can buy some mini mics, and I can do it better. And I can write. People find it hard to write on LinkedIn. And I always question why. Because I just get up and I'll just be like, oh, I'll just write something.
I think that's because you do it and you mean it, whereas a marketing company, or not a marketing company, but a marketing team, they don't do it.
Yeah.
They're not invested.
No.
They're getting paid, 45, 50 grand a year to be there if they're lucky, probably not even that, to then be creating meaningful content on something they don't care about. You don't do marketing because you like office fit out. You do marketing at an office fit out company because it might be a cool business to work for. You might have an interest in interiors, whatever, but very rarely is it an interest in the market you're in.
I feel like that's because it's a job. That's why people are finding personal brands to be so crucial at the moment, because
cutting through the noise.
People actually want to genuinely hear what a person is saying rather than what a company is putting out a corporate message.
There's only exactly that. Companies are ran by people. They want to understand who they're dealing with. Look me up. If I'm pitching for one of your jobs, go on my LinkedIn. You will see what kind of person I am before I even meet you. And that's what it is. You can have a perspective on who I am, how I handle myself, and how I speak before you even meet me. And I always encourage my team to do that, because I want people to know us for the people and the talent we have. And no one else does it. And people are like, oh, I don't want to get on camera. It's a camera. You're happy to go and pitch to people in a room, but won't get a phone out and just go like that. Oh, because people ridicule you. I don't care.
When you look at it like that, it actually makes it far less daunting. Is you walk around, you speak to people in person, you don't get, well, some people do get nervous, but you don't get that nervous. But just to put it online where other people can access it shouldn't really have much difference. But it's very easy to online trolls and people be horrific.
But you posting on LinkedIn, there's none of that.
I don't know.
No.
There is some recruitment.
I know, and I know that. And on our podcast, we had a girl called Holly come on, and she's a top 100 LinkedIn voice, and she was like, "Yeah, I do get hate off people."
Yeah.
And I can't understand. Like, obviously, I'm where I'm working. It's quite a professional environment, and people aren't going to judge. I would actually just call people out. That's probably where I'd lose my head. But yeah, for me, it's quite a safe environment. Do people laugh at it? Apparently, yeah. Other companies have a good laugh about it. I don't care. At some point, I will probably come and take your work because people will want to come work with me, and I want to be a step ahead of other people as well. Like people, one thing that I've noticed is, especially on LinkedIn, people will post like a couple of weeks and give up because they see it as like a task. Don't see it as a task. I just like doing it.
That's all you can really ask for. And also, it's the more you post, the more chance you have of like cocking up. But the more you post and you do it right, the more people go, that's your authentic self, rather than scripted. And it's not genuine.
Yeah.
So, if you keep doing it, then people are going to know who you are. And there's going to come a day where they go, I want to use him because I know who he is. And I've seen it. And that's the power of a personal brand.
Yeah. I think with Instagram especially, I had a lot of success early on when I was growing my stuff.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I started thinking, you know what, I don't really care what anybody else thinks about what I'm posting or who I am or anything. I was doing it because I wanted to. Yeah. And some of the comments I get is, it's awful.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's fun to sort of look through, but God, some people are just so miserable and horrible online. It's hard.
And I can imagine it is. It's like, someone said to me the other day, "Oh, would you be a footballer?" And I went, "Absolutely not. I'd hate being a footballer. Yeah, I'd like the money. The amount of abuse you get, like you're saying." oh, like, I watched the Beckham documentary. It's like, a guy couldn't come out of his house. Like, why would you want that? But I couldn't imagine getting hate. And I don't have that. Usually, the majority of people enjoy watching my content. I wouldn't say like I'm a LinkedIn guru or anything like that. I think I do it well. But the best advice I could give someone is just do it. Just pick up your phone and just do it. And people don't just want to. I put a post up saying, if you want to see my case studies, go onto my website. They're all on there. If my LinkedIn is for you to get to know me and for you to understand how passionate I am about my company and also my views on the industry. And that's where my LinkedIn sits. I don't use it as a platform to just sell the company and our case studies. It's for me to sell myself to other people.
Has anything particularly sort of taken off? Any of your posts really blown up?
Yeah, actually, I did get hate for that. Yeah,
Did
I did.
you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I actually forgot I did get hate. It was. I put a post up, and it was really funny. A year, and I just trialed it because the year before I posted the same post, and it got like 100 likes, and I was like, my impressions were growing. So like my impressions are like 30k a week, 30 to 40k a week. I thought I'll just put something controversial on. It was the same post, and basically it was someone starting an apprenticeship, and then someone, going from university, and it had like loads of bullshit of like someone like after 3 years being in an apprenticeship earning 40k, the other one's like comes out of university with debt, and it was like on like 50 likes after like 10 minutes. I was like, oh my god, it's picking up. And then in the end, after a week, it was on like 8,000. I think it was finished on 8,000 likes, 7.5 million impressions, and like 500 reposts.
That is unbelievable. But do you know what? It shows how how the platform's changed and how social media's changed. Because I posted a meme once, and it was like,
I love that.
It was just
The astronaut.
It took off, and it blew up to the point where people were saying like, you need to talk to your marketing department. This is outrageous. Do you know you've posted this? Is this a joke? And it got to the point where I was actually told, because I was like employed, like, take it down. We don't want that PR. 2-3 years later, I employed someone, and I was like, this is the post I did, and this is how much like feedback it got. If you want to risk it, go for it. He posted it, got like 150 likes, nothing but laughing comments, or a few people applied for the job we were advertising, and everyone was like, oh, that's great, what a great post. And I was thinking, when I first did it, I was literally like, it was like pitchforks outside the window. And it wasn't a bad thing. I didn't post anything wrong. It's just people weren't in the culture of seeing a meme or seeing something like that.
I literally posted, and I actually put in my post above it, I was like, I can only speak for myself and my industry. Did that matter?
All IT.
No. Oh, mate, it was like IT, health and safety, law. And I'm like, well, obviously you need a degree to go into law. Like, I'm not saying that. And also, like, I had a couple of people as well saying, like you, like, what are clients going to think? But what are clients going to think? It's my personal view. I haven't gone out and like said something outrageous. I've literally just given my opinion on something. But what it did validate to me is that there's so many people out there who actually want to have a good debate with people, and I think a little bit differently. Like, maybe debating is not dead. But yeah, some of the comments I just laughed.
With content, obviously, on your personal stuff, how's that impacting the work that you're doing with the business? You know, do you win any work through the content?
Yeah. This year, I think we've got 3 projects through my LinkedIn inbox, which is great, where people go, oh, I've seen your content. And so, but the idea is to drive traffic. Obviously, the whole idea is to drive traffic to the business. But if you like me and you see, we have good clients. I'm not just like posting on LinkedIn for the fun of it. Like, we work with major blue chip clients. We are good at what we do. So if I can drive traffic, by the way, free organic traffic to my website, and then someone goes, oh, okay,
That's gold mine.
Yeah.
It is a gold mine. LinkedIn used properly.
The way the corporates do it is wrong. They're trying to shovel it down your neck. And people, like you're saying there, if you script it too much, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. So what's one tip you'd give then to someone trying to utilise LinkedIn for their sort of business purpose, build a personal brand?
Be consistent. Oh, well, there's a couple actually. Be consistent, be truthful, be yourself. And if someone gives you a bad comment or someone says what you do, why are you posting, just ignore them. Just carry on doing it. LinkedIn's easy. The algorithm's easy. The more you post, the more impressions you'll get. And that's it.
Cool. Moving on then from, sort of staying on the same topic as content, you've got your own podcast, haven't you?
I do.
So tell us a bit about that and
Yeah.
how that came about and how it's going.
The corporate character and the creative, which it's a funny name. So the corporates are commercial director George, creative. Well, not corporate character and it's corporate character and I said the creative because that was our first episode. I can't believe I just messed that up. But yeah, so the corporate's George because he went through like the university. So basically like that post, and I'm the character because I'm mad as a box of frogs. But it basically came about because I actually wanted to give a platform to people that I thought were inspiring, and also give people like kind of like life lessons. I was so bored about the whole TikTok content actually.
Sure.
Of everyone's like doing really well and
everyone's a millionaire.
And I wanted successful people to come on and speak about their journey. But I didn't want to just put it like pigeonhole it to my industry. I wanted to do it from different industries, and we've had some really interesting people on there. And that's what it was. And it was kind of just from a passion point of view. I always wanted to do one. So I thought, why not? Like, I'll do it. And we have got series 2 coming out, which again will be great. We've nailed down our guests, which is good. I haven't asked anyone yet. I've just got them on a piece of paper, but I need to ask them. But I loved it. Yeah, that they want to come on. But yeah, I loved it, and it went well. I think we got over like 30,000 views on YouTube, which is great, and 2,000 subscribers. So
that's a good subscribe rate to view, isn't it?
Yeah. What kind of inspired you to start it at the very beginning?
I just wanted to do it. Do you know what? I love being in front of the camera, and that's like an ego. I don't think it is an ego thing. I like it. I just like being in front of the camera. I like making content, and I love talking to people. And it's like another life experience, isn't it? I did a list of like 30 things to do under 30 when I was like 25, and one of them was to start a podcast. So I did it. I was lucky enough to have the funds to start one, so I did it. And that's all it was. I just wanted to do it.
Where do you host it?
Media City.
Oh, so is it a podcasting studio?
Yeah, a company called Audio always do it. Again, I think we built that space for them. So, it's just laziness. It's all set up for you. You just walk in and just start talking.
And has that driven you any traffic? Do people speak about it when?
Yeah. It's brought us work, and people we use it in our pitch. We show it to people and say, this is what we're doing. This is what we want to build. The thing is, clients getting younger.
Yeah.
And it's not just young people who like podcasts, it's older people as well. So we've had a great reception through it. And I'll say to someone, we've got a podcast, by the way, like scan the QR code. And they go home and they can see me again in the living room. So I'm always at the end of the bed. Always sales.
Personal development's booming at the moment because people, they need to go and find it for themselves. I think people are coming around to the fact that if you want to get better at something or get over a fear or gain a new skill, you got to go out there and get it. You can't just expect it to come to you. You can't sit doing the same thing day in, day out, 8 hours a day and then go, I'm better now.
Don't do the same thing and expect the same results. Your game, recruitment, is one of the hardest. Getting people to pick up a phone and speak to people, you can't do it.
There's a fear of action.
There's so many, and it's like, I see it all the time, is cold calling dying. And I think it also is the fear of someone telling you to do one on the phone. I think that's a big thing. But like, it's the same as everything in life. Just if you're scared of something, the only way you can do it is like face the fear. It's like being a child, isn't it? At some point, you're going to have to go to bed with a light on.
Yeah, exactly. You just got to do it and face that fear, but also realise the worst thing they can do is hang up or tell you to fuck off. It's not anything
On to
else.
the next.
It's not.
It's the same as like your content stuff. Like if someone says something bad, you don't care. Just move on. It's a person. You don't have to speak to them again. If it does go well, you're gonna have to speak to them again. But it's kudos to you if it goes well.
Exactly. That's it, isn't it? So, in terms of episodes, then on the podcast, any really memorable ones?
Yeah. My favourite guest, I'm sorry to everyone else, was a woman called Claire Haverside, who runs a company called Serotonin.
Okay.
It's a branding company in Manchester. So met her through our commercial director George, who goes to the gym with her. Claire's amazing. So Claire runs to work 20 kilometres every day.
Every day. Back.
She runs 20k there for 5:30 in the morning every day. No. I'm being deadly. She's been in like the New York Times for it, or Financial Times every day, and then we'll do like an ultra marathon on a weekend.
We're not doing enough.
That's what I mean. But that's the mind. So for me, just hearing someone's mind, like I thought I had a good mindset, and she's like, "Come rain or shine," like it could. Mate, she lives in the hill, like the Peak District, okay, in Manchester. If anyone's been up there to Peak District, it pisses her down quite regularly, and she'll run down the bypass and stuff. Like this woman is amazing, and her mental capacity to get up when it's -5 and run 20 kilometres to work. Are you joking? People can't even get their ass up to go to work, and she's running 20 kilometres. But that's not all that she's amazing for. What she's doing and how she perceives her brand and treats her staff and the journey that she came on is amazing. She's got her own podcast as well, Create Brave. And again, it's about inspiring people to run, to do things they're uncomfortable about. And she's just an advocate for so many different things. And just to sit there and listen to someone, and it's the first time where I sat next to someone and thought, you're actually amazing. And you're not trying to wow me with like monetary value or how successful you are. I'm just wowed about like how mentally strong you are as a person.
That's such a like good thing to be around somebody and just sort of get that aura and know that they're just doing it genuinely for the right reasons.
It's when someone tells you they run 20k a day to go to work, you're quickly humbled.
I was looking outside and it was just raining now.
It should be out
for
now.
the last about 5-10 minutes, and I was thinking about how I'm going to get home because it's a little bit wet. And I was thinking, is it an Uber job to the station?
There you go.
And then she's running 20k, and that's a lot worse
Claire
there
is doing
than
that.
it is in London.
Yep.
It's quite warm today, actually.
We're doing all this training. I feel like I need to do more now. Yeah.
See, you just because I told you, like, imagine speaking to Claire and hearing it and doing the ultra marathons, like running 100 miles, like, there's only a certain amount. Like, you see it all the time because it's on TikTok and stuff. Again, TikTok mentioned, but you see all these people like, oh, I ran this far, this far. Like, to do it every single day is just like a different story.
You did a running challenge, didn't you, for a month?
I did 5k a day, 30 days, and the last day we did half a marathon. So my cousin Lockie actually, I think he raised 12.5 grand for the Christies in Manchester.
Weren't you adding like burpees and
yeah,
stuff?
Yeah, burpees, push-ups. I actually, do you know what? When I've had like my own journey. So when I was 19, I lost 10 stone.
Right.
Yeah, I used to be like 22 stone, 21 stone. And I went and dropped down all the way to 11 stone. I was doing CrossFit. I mean, I got to the point where it was obsessive. It was too much. Like in COVID, I just went and ran a marathon for the lols. But
well, let's talk about that a bit. How did you end up at 22 stone?
Just bad eating. Just like, it's as simple as that. Just like bad eating, bad choices, just going home, just ordering takeaways. What
was the turning point? Well, there must have been a day.
No, it was. I know it like it's clear as day. There's a place called Sale Metrolink in Manchester, and set stairs. I'm talking like just set stairs like this. And mate, I was out of breath. I was literally at the top like panting like I was like a 90-year-old man. And I just went, I can't do this. And that was the turning point to like, when I lost my weight was when I just like went on this like whole journey of I want to do more in life. There's more to life. I found like the next level. I've always been a resilient person. And I do have good mental strength, but to lose that weight was so hard. It was so hard. Like the mental capacity to do that was ridiculous. And I did it in the most unhealthy way as well, which was like cut your calories to like 1,000 a day. Yeah, it was like literally my treat was like dry Rice Krispies. No milk, nothing like that.
That's rough. I'm trying to drop down from like 90 kg to 80. And that's hard. I'm finding that hard enough.
Do you know what? The funny thing, like for me, when I'm going on holiday and stuff, it's funny you say that. Like to lose weight now is harder. To get your like mentally to go to the gym and lose it, it's harder. And also, do you know when you're bigger, you do lose weight quicker. It's crazy, but yeah, could I do it again? I don't know. I actually don't know whether I could go through that again.
Yeah, it's you see these sort of transformations, and you see people. Like really, really trying, and when you see someone actually sort of complete it, it's like wow.
Yeah,
like, you just know how like disciplined you've got to be and regimented.
Yeah. It's so tough. I was going to the gym twice a day as well, 7 days a week.
Obsessive.
When I say obsessive, it was so unhealthy. Like it was so unhealthy. It was 7 days a week, twice a day, and I isolated myself as well. Completely isolated myself from everything, every social event. It was so toxic.
But going through that, it gives you that sort of that period of hardship that I think some people need. And now you must be.
Do you know what it was as well? And I always say this to someone who got like, there's people dying in the world and I can't get my ass to the gym.
That's what looking at it.
That's what it comes down to. Like, when I thought about it as well, and my granddad at the time was going through chemo, I was like, if he can get up at the age of 78, go to chemo and crack on with his day, then I can get myself to the gym and actually eat healthy. And that was like a bit of a turning point. Like, when you're doing this, you just got to think there's a lot worse situations than losing weight.
It's an eye-opener, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So that, sort of leads into, you being a very sort of setting the bar high, leading from the front as a leader. How has it been being a young leader of a business?
Hard. A lot of self-reflection. I've been a bad one at times. Terrible. As I get older, I'm learning. But again, it's admitting that you've been bad, you haven't got it right. Just admit it and look at yourself and learn from it. Yeah, I'm young. I'll make mistakes. But the beauty of it is I've always been allowed to make a mistake, which is what we let our staff do. If you make a mistake, people make mistakes. It's not the end of the world. They can be resolved. The reason why you're a team is because you get over it together. And that's it. It's been hard. It's a challenge. It's an ever-growing minefield, but I'll get there in the end. I'm not a finished article, and don't pretend I am.
How do you kind of manage, obviously, your team that you've got?
Yeah.
You do a podcast, you do the personal content, you do a lot of different stuff. How do you kind of manage your day and actually go through it all? Because it'd be
just set your parameters out. Like, in the morning, if I can't go to the gym in the morning, then I know that I have to go at night. My LinkedIn, I usually I'll plan Monday's post on Sunday. Most of the time, I'll just wake up and do it. So I am fortunate in that. And the content, like on the way down here, I knew I had mini mics in my bag. I've got them in my pocket now. And I know that I can just put a phone. Just practice the content stuff. It doesn't bother. That doesn't faze me. The hardest thing at the moment is traveling to and from Leeds to Manchester. That's a tough one, and it's draining. But you just have to do it. You have to do it. I wish there was some secret recipe that I could tell you that I plan out my day and I write it all down in a journal. But it's just not like that. I just get it done. I get what I need to get done, and the main focus is making sure the team are in a good place. And as long as you've got good people, the idea of success is you hire good people who you can trust. When people are so like tight on the people that work for them, that's when it goes wrong. Let people flourish. Let people take charge. If you've got leaders in your workplace, trust them to lead when you're not there, and that's what I do. If I'm not there, they'll lead, and I know that everyone's on my wavelength.
How do you deal with that commute? Doing must be a 4-hour round trip.
You just do it. There's no other way to describe it. You just do it. Some days are better than others. Some days you wake up in the morning and you go, I don't want to get up at 5:30, so I work from home. And that's it. I wish there was like a secret recipe that I could tell you that there was.
I just like being on the phone when I'm in the car. Like if I had a golf day or something, I'd probably make more calls in that hour and a half, 2 hours than I do.
I do. I ring. I am that annoying person. I ring loads of people when I'm in the car. I ring, and then or I listen to Talk Sport and I have an argument with myself, and like pretending I'm having an argument with Alan McCoy or something like that. But yeah, it's tough. It's mentally tough, especially if you've had a shit day. It's tough, but you just have to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So
we've got that little quickfire round if you want to run through it.
Go on.
I think Harry's going to lead it this week.
I'll do it this time then. So
it's actually a bit stolen sort of from
That's
your
all right.
podcast.
That's all right. I think we stole it from someone else, mate. So
the best one on flat screen.
I just think it works well because you get really quick, genuine answers that are like, So keep it like no longer than a sentence if you can.
Yeah.
But yeah, really quick. Right, first one. Early bird or night owl?
Early.
Favourite book or podcast at the moment?
Don't have one because I don't listen to them.
Fair enough. One thing you can't start your day without?
Music.
Most memorable client project?
Craven House, London.
Worst job you've ever had?
Working in Domino's.
One person, dead or alive, that you'd like to have dinner with?
Biggie Smalls, love him.
Biggest pet peeve?
People being late.
Favourite social media platform?
LinkedIn.
Yeah, of course. Top advice you'd give your younger self?
Buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's true. If you could swap lives with anybody for a day, who would it be? Stumped him.
Yeah, you actually have. I was thinking about this on the way down and I actually couldn't do it. That's a really tough one.
He's just so happy. He just wouldn't switch with anyone.
I just go with like David Moyes because I love Everton and I always wanted to be. I know you said quit, but I always wanted to be like in and around the club and stuff like that. And I just, it'd be fun for the day.
Is that a big part of your life as well, the football?
Yeah, not as big as it used to be, but I still like it. I still like it, and it was what I wanted to do when I was a kid. And I just feel like when you're a kid, you're like, there's fun things in life that you probably know I'm going to tick off, and that's one of them. So yeah, I'd be David Moyes for the day.
Well, look, Ollie, thanks for coming on.
No, it's all right. Thank you very much.
Really appreciate it coming down from
thank you.
from Leeds to come and see us.
Yeah, came on the Rattler, steam train.
Get a couple of beers and some dinner now and
absolutely
have a good catch up.
Yeah.
Thank you, mate. Really appreciate it. Just before we go, if people want to sort of hear a little bit more about what you do in terms of both on the sort of fit out side of things, but also in the sort of podcast arena, where can they find you? What's the best way of contacting you?
So on just LinkedIn me, which is Olly, which is Olly, then Plastow, and then we're just consensusworkspace.co.uk, and then the podcast on YouTube is The Corporate Character and then you can also just type that in and find it on Spotify as well. So if anyone can be bothered, then that's where we're at.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.